Hello, Entertainment Daily lovers. Welcome back. So today is Monday. Happy New Week, and March is coming to an end. Okay, so we have an interesting conversation to have. Come on in. Let me know if you know the story. Have you been following the story? Are you hearing the story for the first time? Just let me know in the comment section. I want us to quickly check the sound of this live stream, and then we're going to go right into this gist. Sound of this live stream, and then we're going to go right into. Okay, so our sound is good, and I want to quickly just drop this here. And I know that people will come, and most of my people will come and see this later on. But yes, this is a very touching story. Really, really, really touching. Of a 7 year old girl in South Africa that was assaulted in school, and it seemed like nothing was done until the mother of the child came online and started screaming, doing a lot of videos, asking for people to, lend their voice. So a lot of South Africans uh, jumped on the trend and started talking about it before anything was even done. But there is so much. I would just go straight into the. But welcome. If you're coming in for the very first time, you are welcome. And please subscribe, like, share, turn on your bell notification so you don't miss whenever we're here having such conversations. Okay. That being said, I'll pull up the video where someone was explaining about what happened, and let's listen to it together and do proper analysis. Let's see if we can round this up in 20 minutes or even less. So let me find the video. But I feel like this is really disturbing. That something like this can happen Apologies for that silence there. Somehow I was just knocked out of the studio completely. So let's go and find this video, and let's start from the beginning and listen to how this lady herself not getting the justice she deserves. That is see what we will not do. It has become the lady so clear is that really for justice to be served in South Africa, it needs to trend, it needs to come to social media. So it is here now, and let's push it until they get the job. So on this video, where this lady is talking about the little girl in Threadword, which is 7 years old. Hope I didn't mother that name South Africans. So it says in October 2024, a 7 years old Ndwedwe was essayed on school grounds. Instead of receiving support, she was expelled from Bergview College. The school principal has allegedly refused to provide his DNA sample during the investigation. That they deserve. So 7-year-old Toto was sent to school on a normal day as a normal kid. After school, the caretaker asks her to go clean up a classroom. I don't understand which classroom must be cleaned by one 7-year-old unsupervised, and even that on its own was off. So the little girl gets sent to go clean up a classroom.
She gets there, and the last thing she remembers in that classroom is the strong smell of burning tires, as she describes it. Next thing, she's being woken up by the caretaker who sent her. When guys what we will not do is sit back and watch a family herself not getting the justice she deserves.
From the first explanations we're hearing, this is just off. Since when do they send kids? Like schools have people that clean, like school have cleaners, and when they get to put students to do work, they put them in groups. Okay, not just one 7 years old should go and clean her classroom. It's almost like the caretaker had something in mind. The caretaker knew what the caretaker wanted to do, or the caretaker was working on behalf of someone, or this is something they've done to so many people and they got away with it. That's why the caretaker and the principal both together, or something like, why was the 7 years old Ntwetwe asked to go and clean her classroom by herself? For crying out loud, this child is 7 years old.
Who sent her to go clean the classroom, telling her that the transport is ready and she needs to go. Now that's the first red flag. It's not the first one, it's the second red flag. You're seeing a child just pass out in a classroom and all you can say is, go, hey, your transport is waiting. You're not going to check if that child is okay. Did she collapse? What happened? Okay, fine. So the caretaker tells the child to go to the transport and go home. Transport guy takes the child home. Child gets home. She is very, very sick. The parents are like, oh yeah, children get sick. They give her medication. She goes to bed. She wakes up a couple of times in the night because she is in excruciating pain. She's 7 years old. Majority of the pain is down there.
Can you
The parents
imagine?
wake up the following morning, the child is not getting better, and the child is actually telling the parents that I actually woke up multiple times last night because I'm just not feeling well. So the mother's like, no, man, let's examine this. Who sent her to go clean the classroom, telling her that the transport is ready and she needs to examine this thing. Let's check this child out. They check the child out. They see that down there, there's something that definitely happened. So they take the child to the doctor, and the doctor confirms that, yeah, the child was essayed. So now the parents are like, where could it have happened? And they ask the child, and the child tells them, I was sent to clean a class, and the next thing I'm smelling burnt tires, and the next thing I'm on the floor or wherever else she was, and I'm feeling this excruciating pain. So the parents are like, where was she? She was at school. They go to the school to report the matter because teachers and the principal are the parents to the child for the 6 hours that the child is there, are they not?
Of course. Yeah.
So then the samples are taken. So DNA samples are taken from the caretaker who sent the child to clean the class and the transport guy, who are the only people who are in contact with that child in that space of time. The results come back. The results come back here, and so they're like, principal, we're gonna need you to take test two. Let's examine this thing. Let's check this child out. They check the child out. They test two, and he was like, no.
So wait a minute. If they tested the caretaker that sent the child to go clean the classroom, and the caretaker was the same person that found the child when the child was passed out, on the floor, and sent the child home without checking the child or doing anything, then the transport guy, that's the bus driver or whatever vehicle that takes the kids to and fro from school, takes this child and drops the child home. And if these two persons have been tested and the principal is on ground and other staffs, I doubt if those are the only two people. Why is the principal? The question I want to ask now is, why is the principal reluctant? The caretaker, knowing that he didn't do it, gave his DNA to be checked to see if and the bus driver too, checked, gave his. Why is the principal of the school not wanting to give his DNA? Like he thinks he's too important, he's too relevant, like he doesn't even want to deal, even though we're talking about a little girl that is 7 years old that was actually essayed on your watch, because that happened in the school premises. You are responsible for the kids when they are in school. This is so annoying. It is so annoying.
That is not going to happen. And so now this raises many eyebrows because why don't you want to be tested? What are you hiding? Because the other two comply? Why are you not complying?
What is he afraid of?
Forgive my tone. I am pissed beyond any level of being pissed. This is probably the third time I'm filming this because I keep needing to bring myself towards myself. So then this guy is like, no, the reputation of the school will be ruined. So what reputation are you talking about? A child was violated in your school.
As if that's not bad enough.
You are resisting all the necessary measures that need to get taken to make sure that that child's perpetrator is found. And what reputation is it? So the SAPS is quiet. I mean, when have they ever said anything? The SAPS is quiet. Nobody's saying anything. And the principal, he did not only distance himself from the situation, he test two, and he was like, no, that is not going to happen. And so now this raises many eyebrows, because why don't you?
Like, I don't understand how you, a principal, it didn't even come to your mind that you should call all the male staffs that are there and everybody that was around during that period that the child was asked to go and magically clean a classroom or clean whatever that a 7 years old shouldn't be doing. She went to school to study, not to go and clean the school. You, as a school, you have your cleaners, you pay your cleaners, they will clean after the kids. I don't understand. So, why is he distancing himself? Why is he acting like nothing happened? Even though the doctor confirmed it that yes, the child was essayed, the child was assaulted, and it happens on school grounds, okay, during school hours, or you somehow somebody made her stay back after school hours, but she was still in the premises. Now, submit for DNA, you don't want to submit for DNA. Then at the same time, you're still expelling the child from the school just like that. Like the level at which the principal is going to just distance himself all in the name of reputation of your school. What nonsense reputation? There are still lots of female children in that school. And if this is not nipped in the bud, it's going to happen to other people. And the way the principal is reacting to this whole thing, it seemed like this is something that has been going on and the principal is aware of it. Maybe he's even the one, he's the perpetrator, he's the one doing it. Because why are you so quick to expel the little girl? Why don't you want the girl and her family to get justice? This is not even a joke. A 7 years old being essayed on school grounds. How is that a joke? If it was his daughter, will he sweep it under the carpet the way he's doing it?
Want to be tested? What are you hiding? Because the other two complied. So from the situation, he went on to expel the poor child. So now the poor child doesn't have a school. Because all this is bringing a bad reputation to the school. Which reputation are you talking about? I'm baffled. Because what the fuck are you talking about?
Ooh.
A child was violated in your freaking school? And all you can say is, no, I don't want to bring a bad reputation. So you'd rather sweep a child being SA'd
Under the rug, like it didn't happen.
Just so your school seems all glitz and glam on the outside. I feel for the parents whose kids still go to that school. Bergville College, that's what it's called. I feel so bad. I feel so scared.
I don't even understand how any parent will even send their kids back to a school like that, where a 7 years old was essayed, violated, assaulted on school grounds, and principal is not the head of the school, is not doing anything to help bring whoever this person is to justice. And that's somebody that works in the school, will continue to be around children, female and male, continue to assault, continue to essay these children in school, and you feel like that's just, it's just one, like like drinking your water and just dropping your cup on the table. The fact that people still dress their kids and take them to the school the next day, I don't understand. Like, people had to wait. That's something that parents should have just decided on their own, to say, look, we're not even going to do this. Our kids are not going to go to this school if you, the school authorities, will not bring to book whomever did this to that child. Okay, I don't know, society is now in a place where one person's child is one person's child. Before, everybody used to look out for other people's children also, but now it's now a place where if it didn't happen to you, you hear things like, oh, thank God it's not my child, thank God it's not your child. Thank God it's not your child today, tomorrow it might be yours. So don't be acting like nothing happened. When something like this happened, the parents would have stood their ground. In fact, if they needed to tie that man and take him to the hospital for his DNA to be collected, that should have been done. So I don't even understand this whole reluctancy by this man. Like, it is so annoying. And now, another thing is expelling the child. Is that going to change anything? Is that going to help stop the person if the principal was not the one that did it, and if it, then somebody did it? And that's why it looks like he did it. Seriously.
For all the other little girls who go to that school, that is not a safe space for children, apparently. So from the situation, he went on to expel the poor child. So now the poor child doesn't have a school. Because all this is bringing a bad reputation.
I'm looking at the principal, and they posted that's the picture you people see on the thumbnail, like the principal in question. And I'm like, yo, what is even going on? Like, what is going on? What is going on? People need to do more. People need to do better. So the woman, after her daughter went through what her daughter, I can't even imagine how that woman is thinking. Like, what is going through that woman's head? I don't know. Because if it's some people, that school will be on fire. Seriously. People that they won't even wait for school to be shut down because it took this woman to come out online and cry and call on people to people started making TikTok videos reacting to this thing. And when it started escalating, that's when they were now forced to shut down the school, because of the pressure that was coming out from the masses from South Africa. So if that woman did not come online and scream about this whole thing, it would just be swept under the carpet. Like this 7 years old is not a human being. Like she's not a person. She doesn't deserve justice. Her parents are not humans. They don't deserve justice. The meanness and the wickedness of some people is just perplexing. Like you hear some stories and you can't even believe what you're hearing. And something else I want to quickly add before we continue. I noticed underneath this comment section, a lot of people, I'm believing they're either people from the United States and stuffs like that, came underneath this comment section and someone was like, oh, 7 years old. And that's a lot of comments we got. 7 years old in college because if you notice people reacting, is because I said this happened in South Africa and people reacting. There are other people also reacting, but a lot of South Africans reacted before the rest of the world started catching up onto the story and also reacting. So they used the word college, that she was assaulted in her college, she was essayed in her college, the 7 years old girl was essayed in her college. And people like, wait, this story is not adding up. What do you mean by she was essayed in her college? And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm some of America self on our own day on our body. Like seriously, come on. Everybody knows that the words that you people have in America use to describe things and the rest of the world is not the same. The American English and the British English is not the same. So if you hear somebody saying a child was essayed in college, why are you people stuck on that the college part of the story? Okay. Some people use primary school, secondary school. Some people use high school, and they just know that if they are saying it's a 7 years old, then you know that they're talking about the primary school. And I wanted to point this out because a whole lot went on underneath the comment section, and instead of people to be talking about the case, discussing what's going on, they're all stuck on this college conversation going up and down. People are still asking, what do you mean is 7 years old in college? Because I guess they're thinking they're talking about what university or what, or secondary school or high school, secondary school. Why what like college, take it like that, okay? Don't try to understand what you do. If you don't know it, you don't know it. But I feel like as a person that is old enough to type all these comments, or people, because there's more than one person, your brain should actually tell you that it's primary school. 7 years old will be where? A 7 years old will be where? A 4 years old will be where? Kindergarten. A 7 years old will be starting primary school. Okay. So your brain should just go immediately that yes, it's primary school. We're not talking about university, tertiary or whatnot. She's 7. But anyway, I feel like people just lost the whole thing and we're talking about things that were not really relevant to the case. But seriously, this is a case that we will keep following, and we want to see where this case is going because it is really sad. It is absolutely sad. Trust me. You see the power of social media. When something happens, sometimes these kind of things happen, and countries they will just act like, oh, we don't see it, we don't know what is going on, and they just want to leave it at that. But it is indeed horrible.
To be so for
It is
real,
horrible
last
that
year
something like this will
was
actually
kind of
happen,
I
and
just feel
then
like
people will
everywhere
act
you
like,
look,
oh, nothing
stuff
nothing
has
happened.
been
How
this
does
year.
this principal sleep at night? Who is married to
Especially
this
the
man?
place where it's supposed to be safe for them,
I don't understand.
i.e., a school. And we know that October last year, little CWECWE was waiting for a transport to come and pick her up from school. And the transport apparently came late, and they were told to come in to the school by some individual. Um, she calls her uncle there at the school, and later on, she said she woke up feeling tired and not knowing what had happened. and only
So
to
she
find
probably
a
was
few
drugged.
days later, after the parents had taken little Clifford to the doctor, that she had in fact been sexually violated. And this is all starting to be too
She's
common
7 years old,
in South
man.
Africa. But the most, hurtful thing is that when this was then reported to the school and the principal in particular were very nonchalant with regards to
Because I guess he's
taking
someone
this
that
issue
essays people too.
seriously.
His
In
wife should
fact,
look at
to a
him
point of
very well
actually
and
demanding,
his children.
sick notes from the parents and wanting to, deal with this case in a way that should not have been dealt with in a sensitive and in a clear, direct manner. And as not in my name, we are saying that one, this needs to come to an end. Two, the perpetrator needs to be found, and the way that the perpetrator is going to be found is by law enforcement actually going into the school and making sure that every single staff member, from the gardener right through to the principal, has been vetted, has been questioned, has been tested, and so that we can actually
Absolutely.
get to the bottom of the matter. And we applaud the Department of Education in the province for actually taking a drastic step to say that we're going to shut down the school until such time the principal and the staff cooperate with law enforcement agency.
I don't even understand. Some of these things should just be done by force. In my opinion, seriously, some of these things should be done by force. Because what do you mean by you don't want to submit for DNA? This happened in your school. What are we talking about? It happened in your school. We're not saying it happened anywhere else. In your school, under your watch. I don't care. The child was in school to study. So if this is happening, she's 7 years old. Who was that uncle? Everybody's uncle. Everybody's uncle. Who was that uncle that told her to go and clean a classroom? How does that sound to you? That person that made that statement, at least the child will be able to describe the person, or and if they bring all the staffs, all the male, because this was done by a male. If they bring all the male staffs, the child will be able to, at 7, she would recognize the person that said to her, go clean that room. Okay, because according to her, she walked into the room that she was supposed to be cleaning and she started smelling something that she could describe that smelled like tire, like, that the burning tire from a car, So that could be anything, something they could somebody might have been just been hiding somewhere and they put something immediately she entered the classroom and she passed out, and that's when the person had time to do what the person did and then left her there knowing fully well that after a while she will wake up. It's something that will just put her to sleep for a while and she will wake up, and she woke up. The other person too that found her on the floor did not think to ask, why is she still there? If other people are going home, why is this child still the only one? Because for that thing to happen where it happened, nobody else was there. So why was this child found on the floor? The caretaker to just told her, your boss is here, go get her. So that means if they really go and even interview the children from that same school, there might be some that would have seen noticed the same thing too. They would have told them go and clean, and this happened, and they went home and they treated, and everything was swept under the carpet. Good that the parents actually screamed. Yes, I'm coming. I'm almost rounding up. 5 minutes. Okay. Why are you not wearing clothes now? Why are you wearing only pants? Go and drink water now. Sorry, that was my little one coming in to talk. Oh God. Sorry for that. I thought I had muted my sound. My little one coming in to talk to me. I just wanted to come in quickly when I saw this topic. I was like, we need to really talk about it. Hey Faye, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sis. How are you doing? Welcome, Queen. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. I just wanted to come in quickly to drop this gist before we have other things to talk about. But I feel like, when I saw this, they said 2024. So since 2024 up until now, we're still talking about justice not being done because the principal of a school totally refused to do the right thing that the principal of a school was supposed to do. How can it? I don't. It's so annoying. It is annoying, and the fact that the other, what's his name? I think he's probably a journalist or what, on also, that was talking about the same case. That man made a statement that stuck, you know, with me, because he said this is happening too often in South Africa. So there's been several cases like this. Do you understand? Oh, it's hard to stream when family is around. They just come in one after the other, disturbing. Anyway, pardon me. When that journalist said, made that statement talking about the fact that, uh, you know, this is happening so often. And I'm like, if this is happening so often, shouldn't that principal of the school put his foot down and say, let everybody come out and give their DNA so they will be tested and checked? Really, he looks guilty right now. He looks guilty, because I don't know any sane man that is not guilty of a crime like that would not want to give his DNA to be, like, he should have even been the one to even suggest that you people come tomorrow, all the staffs, from academic staffs to non-academic staff, everybody will be brought here and DNA will be collected from all of them. That's a 7 years old. That's, man, I don't know what schools are turning into. You have your child going to school and your mind will not be at rest because there are just sick people that are not. I don't know if they properly check these people before because how are they employing a pedophile in a school where children that are 7 years old will be attending? Are these people not properly screened? Right now, it could be the principal, it could be any other person, but the fact that the principal is also covering up this, it means the principal is guilty also. So I'm just disappointed at the fact that this happened since 2024, and it's now that the mother is screaming online because they've just. You can imagine the audacity to even expel the child. You expel the child from school, a 7 years old child that this happened to. And this could just lead to anything, and you're expelling the child, and you, principal, come and give. They should tie that man, tie that principal. In fact, find all the workers from the school, get a rope, tie their hands and their legs, and take them to the hospital. Collect the DNA from all of them and keep them tied up until all of them are checked. Because you know why? These people should even be volunteering to go. So why is it that the first two people that came in contact with the child on the day this incident occurred, the day the child was essayed? Hello. Oh, yours media. That's our barrister in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing? Welcome, ma'am. Welcome. You know, I feel like when something like this happens in a place where you people are working, the first thing you want to do is clear your name. Mostly as a man, a 7 years old child that was essayed in your school. You should be volunteering. I'm ready to give my DNA. Whenever you people want to come and collect, come and collect. I'm ready to give my DNA, ready to give my fingerprint. I'm ready to give my thumbprint. I'm ready to give. Just volunteer yourself to quickly clear your name off the list, which is what those two people, the caretaker, did. From what we know about the story. The caretaker came out, gave his DNA. The bus driver, or the person that transport the kids, came out because he was the one that drove her home after she woke up from that magic sleep that she fell into. Immediately she walked into that classroom that nobody was inside, that classroom that magically she alone, a 7 years old, was supposed to be cleaning. Those two people made a wise move by coming out quickly to give their DNA, that the both of them were tested and it was not them. Why is principal not bringing his own DNA? Why is the head of the he is the we're talking about the bus driver We're talking about the caretaker having no issues in giving their DNA to be tested. A principal that is the head of the school, like this man is in charge of that school, does not want to give his DNA. Like that man's wife need to just wait for that man. In fact, don't even wait for him to even fall asleep. Safe. Just give him something, make him drink, make him sleep. Collect the DNA by yourself and go and submit it. Because who wants to lay down next to that kind of thing as a husband? You were in a place, something happened. You're supposed to be in charge. You're supposed to be responsible, and they're collecting DNA. You don't want to submit. Oga, I will collect it by force. You can later go and report that I assaulted you. I don't know, but to prove if you were guilty or not, I will collect that thing by myself and go and submit it. I don't even know what kind of wife or family family members people have. If that idiot was I will tie you and you will go there and submit the DNA. I don't care what, because you are the principal, you're the head of the school, and you might have a child. I don't care if they are grown, if they are above 7 years, younger than 7 years old, you have a child. Even if you don't have a child, if that was done to you when you were little, are you going to like it? Is that going to be a good thing? And it happened since 2024. If the mother of this girl did not come online to come and start screaming on top of her lungs, so that's how they would have just swept this whole thing under the carpet. Who was the person? Is that not the question that principal should have been asking? Who was the person that asked that girl to stay behind after the school? This is 7. We're not talking about primary school children. Good, good, good. Good. I believe you're at work right now. I'm looking at my time. So I'm just thinking. It's man, it's horrible. It is indeed terrible. Your children go to school and now your mind cannot even rest because you have irresponsible people as head of schools. Because tell me, what kind of principle is this? And this happened since 2024. You know, so it's just weird that the first thing that is coming to principal's mind is to protect his school. What nonsense school are you protecting? The fact that this happened, has that not already tarnished the image? Are you not supposed to be blaming the person that did this nonsense? But no, you want to go beyond, do everything in your power to make sure that you block. Look, man. Hmm. I don't even know why they're still talking with this principal. They should just bundle this principal and submit him where they're supposed to collect this DNA. And collecting is, if they had to collect DNA, sef, he doesn't want to submit. They would have. The mother of this girl should just put her eyes on that principal. You will collect the DNA by yourself and go and submit it. If he doesn't want to give because there's something he's afraid of, you will collect it by yourself. You will go and submit it. People they do. Oh. People they do. People they do. But we will keep following this story to see how this turns out, because now that everybody is screaming, all the content creators in South Africa, non-content creators, everybody is just lending their voice, and it is going viral. Okay, I think the lady started ranting on TikTok, and people are taking it to other platform. I saw it on Instagram. Blogs are resharing it, so it is going viral at this point. And I think it will get to a point where that principal won't even be able to come out of his home and walk, you know without people calling him out for the fact that he's the one that said he wasn't going to, and expelled the 7 years old. So something like this happened on your school ground, and what you did was to expel. Other people gave their DNA to check. You said you're not giving your DNA because what, you are above the law in the country. What are you? The president of the Even the president of the country is not above the law. So who are you? Like seriously, who are you that you not go and give your own DNA? Let's see where this story is going. And I wouldn't be shocked if it's the principal that did this thing. That's why he's the one that doesn't want to, call all his staffs together to come and give their DNA. One and two, he doesn't, want to also submit for DNA. And he was quick to expel the girl so they can actually act like this didn't happen on their school ground. Now lie, if they no agree, give, make can go set fire for that school, make it burn. Don't fire you. Somebody's 7 years old child. Now you want to go do practice. All these things pisses me off because there are people that are professional. Their job is to have sex with you, like you pay them, and they have it. So these are people's jobs, like adults that they work. They tell you, they say money for hand, back for ground. Like you pay and you get the services. So if you are in the mood, you're in your heat like a dog, can't you just go to those places where the people that they pay to do those things, can you pay them and you ease yourself, you get yourself, you know, you had to deceive a little child. This is even a simple case that wouldn't have even lasted up to 2 weeks. They would have caught that person straight up. It was not supposed to last up to 2 weeks if the principal of that school had done what he was supposed to do. Because, first of all, after school, somebody said to that 7 years old girl to wait behind to go and clean her classroom or another classroom. She's having a conversation with that person. So that girl, one, goes to that school. If that person works in that school, that means that's somebody that she sees every day or every other day. Monday to Friday, you will go to school, right? So you recognize the staffs. And a 7 years old knows the name of their teachers, and the ones that they don't know, they can still recognize at least the person teaching them and the people they got uncle this, uncle that, or they can point and tell you this uncle. So they recognize the ones that they might not know the name, they will recognize their face. So if that principal was innocent, if that principal had nothing to hide, what I expected the principal to do was when it was brought to his attention that this is what happened on school grounds, he was supposed to gather everybody, let the little girl point out who had that conversation with her, because that person knows something. The person that asked that 7 years old child to wait behind, I've never seen where 7 years old child, like one person, cleans the classroom. If you're ever asking children to do job, to do cleaning, things like that, so you're teaching them, it is always done in group. The whole class comes out and do the picking of papers, those miniature things, but they do it in groups. Group A, Group B, Group C, and they all work together, not singling out one person's child and not allowing the child to go home after school because you have plans. So that uncle is supposed to answer questions, but of course, principal is protecting himself and that person that is the pedophile. Either the principal is the pedophile or there is somebody there and they work together with the principal. They take turns to commit this havoc. So the principal is covering up for the person and they are hiding and trying their best to distance. It no go work. So that being said, we've been talking for 38 minutes. I'm going to round this up here. I want to be dropping the gist, you know, short 20, 30 minutes like so. And if you're watching the replay, please drop your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think should happen? In me, I've said mine. They should go and bundle that principal and take his DNA by force, because he's not better than the caretaker that gave his own DNA. Neither is he better than the bus driver that also provided his DNA so he can be cleared. Why is he making this investigation to stall? Because of him, he doesn't want to give DNA. He doesn't want to bring all his staff so they can collect DNA from all the male staffs. So somebody's child will just be essayed like that. Somebody's child will just be assaulted like that, and that's it. Anyways, drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know. We'll keep our eyes open, keep our ears open to see if Little Ntwetwe is going to get justice for this nonsense that they did to her. Let's keep our eyes open. This is a story coming from South Africa. So we'll keep watching and we'll see how this plays out. Thank you so very much. Till I see you on the next one. Bye for now.